Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Friday, December 5th, 2025. I just want to mention really the last time, and that is that on Monday of next week, December 8th, NVIDIA will become part of the family of other analytical videos that we put out every day and every week at wickedstocks.com. It'll be part of a suite of videos, really. We put out daily analysis on the SPY and the Triple Q, 2 stock picks every single week, weekly analysis on Apple, S&P 500, and NASDAQ 100. And you'll also, as a wickedstocks.com member, receive trade guidance, direct answers to your NVIDIA questions. That's something you can't really rely on YouTube. There's just so many people who ask questions. We certainly devote our time to our wickedstocks.com subscribers in terms of their questions. So you'll be able to receive the same NVIDIA report that you've been receiving now probably for the last few years at wickedstocks.com. We invite you to come on board, check us out. You can take advantage of our 5-day free trial. As far as the stock picks go, I think it's worth just that alone. And in fact, in 2025 so far, we've got a 70% plus batting average on the accuracy of our stock picks, and the average stock pick return is over 30%. And so check us out at wickedstocks.com. Starting Monday, NVIDIA will be part of that package. We will provide basic broad brushstroke analysis occasionally on YouTube for NVIDIA, but it certainly won't be on a day-to-day basis and the fine-tuned analysis that you receive presently. And this is the last day of that. So I appreciate you following us. I know many of you aren't crazy about this, but it just is what it is. It is our template for providing good analysis on YouTube, and then we eventually roll into wickedstocks.com. Believe it or not, the Daily SPY and Daily Triple Q started out the very same way. We provided that analysis for over a year or two before rolling that to wickedstocks.com. So let's jump into the analysis. We still have good resistance in the low 190s. We settled below that 3 weeks ago. Can contain buying through the rest of December. Once tested, or we could say below which 162.15 remains in reach over the next 1 to 3 weeks, depending on volatility. And that is the framework. If we were over the next week, 2 or 3, to close below 162.15, we enter a significant sell signal that should then play out well into the first quarter. 120.82, then considered a 2 to 3 month objective, where NVIDIA encounters a base of support that I consider trend defining over the long haul. We can bottom out at low 120s through 26 and round up to new highs from there following a test of 120.82. And I only expect 120.82 unless we close below 162.15. Until then, this is solid bottom picking through Q1. We can bottom out at 162.15 and round up to new highs, actually round up into the 219 to 229 region within 2 to 3 months of testing 162.15. The question begs, of course, are we going to retest the low 190s anytime soon? And we do have just a simple trend line right here at 184.12. It is able to contain intraday buying pressures. And in fact, once tested, we could fall back to the 175.97 rising channel bottom. So we don't have it labeled, but this trend line coming off these highs is 184.12. So able to contain intraday, possibly daily buying pressures, and below which 175.97 rising daily in reach over the next 1 to 2 days, I would say. At 175.97, especially if tested today, can contain daily lows. And from here, we could round up. So whatever may be a session containment level, you could also play, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but I also say, and possibly 3 to 5 day containment. So if it's a session containment level, you can play the 3 to 5 day. If it's a weekly level, you can play, the 3 to 5 weeks. So there's that as well. Let's talk upside. In the event that we do push through 184.12, it is possible today we could push into the low 190s. We've seen that kind of volatility before. We haven't seen it recently. I will say that if we close above 184.12, we skew next week toward reaching into the low 190s. but there's the very real possibility we could push or even open today above 184.12, and 190.09 would be in reach. 190.09 is the channel bottom on the weekly chart. The same channel bottom on the daily chart is 190.97. You can see them all there. And then, of course, we have this descending channel top that we see as a significant upward pivot point at 193.39. So closing today above 184.12, we should on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week push into this significant zone of resistance, able to contain buying through December. From here, we can fall away within several weeks into the low 160s. If we do close above 193.39, and that's not going to happen today, but that is our next go with buy signal on strength. Closing above that 193.39 descending channel top does signal 214.68. This could be within 2 to 3 weeks, could take the better part of 5 weeks. Hard to say, but it would be our next big picture objective if we were to close above 193.39. This 214.68 area lines up and will increasingly so with the 219.64 longer-term wave count that I do believe we show on the weekly chart here. That is 2.0. That basically means, subtracting the April low from the January high and then adding that back to the January high. You kind of flip it on its head, an exhaustion point. There are other elements going on up there as well. I think I've covered the upside pretty well. Once again, the downside, I don't have a significant downward pivot point today. We were close to calling kind of the 179.51 level a downward pivot point. You might as well. And what I mean by that is it is this low area, the low settlement price a couple of days ago. If we break it today, we could see 175.97. 175.97, solid level to, if you're short, take profits at. If you're not in a position at all, I'm talking to day traders, you can go long at 175.97. And yes, as we spill into next week, 3 to 5 day swing traders could bottom pick 175.97, anticipating the possibility of upward rotation from there back into the low 190s within 3 to 5 days. Finally, closing below 175.97, while I don't expect it today, would pivot this market south into what is really a range of support. I don't really like 156.50 anymore as long-term support, but I will say that if we close below 175.97, we should then see the 163.63. Where is it? Bear with me here for a second. It is this zone here, 163.63. So closing below 175.97, expect the low 160s within about 3 to 5 days. That is your 3 to 5 day swing trade to the downside right now. I'll say it one more time, that if we do close below 175.97, you should expect by the end of next week, this 163.63 level, which is a long-term support, 162.15 on the weekly chart, able to absorb selling into January, possibly through all of Q1. Check us out at wickedstocks.com. This week we put out 2 stock picks, AppLovin Corporation, and Thursday we put out a stock pick on Toll Brothers, the construction company. Both are on the precipice of significant buy signals. We present all of the specifics, and you should check us out. Also, check us out at wickedstocks.com if you want to keep receiving this valuable NVIDIA analysis. You'll know where it is. It'll be at wickedstocks.com. You have a great weekend.